I am excited. Day 10 of Moral Momentum. Who's excited? Tell me everything. Don't leave anything out. All right. Hey, welcome. Go ahead. Tell us why you're excited. You're good.
I am struggling.
Struggling. Give me everything, man. I think that was Tim.
So, been going through and trying to join all the calls and watch the replays and everything, soaking everything in. And so I did my first post, and then every day we elaborate on how to make things better. I get more overwhelmed with how to actually start doing, because I haven't even done my day 2 post because I'm like sitting there thinking and like going through shit and like just, I don't know, like I get that feeling that I always get when shit gets hard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, fuck, man. I've sat here for 2 hours trying to figure this out, and I've gotten nowhere. So then I move on to something else productive instead of working on this. But it's been on my mind every single day. Like, I need to get more momentum figured out. And I also messaged Dennis, and he gave me some good insight on what to do to just post, just to get it out there. I'm trying to follow the program too. So I don't know. Do you have any advice on how to, I guess, get my mind right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff going on up here.
So I've been waiting for this, and I kind of figured it was coming because I've been getting a lot of messages talking about something similar. I'm feeling overwhelmed, feeling lost. I don't know what I want. I don't know how to do this. And it's because this is an everyday thing. So Let's first address that. The reason why we're doing that. So if you think about a lot of programs, even you're in mine, you're in the reset. Okay. So we don't just jump in and learn everything. It's all staggered. It's all dripped out. It's all develop some skills and then go. And if you notice this one, it's all almost like sink or swim. And the sinking feeling, the treading water right now is what we would call being overwhelmed. How many here, go ahead, put your hands up or use the reactions or drop a fire in the chat, are feeling very overwhelmed right now? It's almost everybody, right? We got a couple like this, and okay, that's what we expected. And the reason I haven't addressed that and I keep giving you more is because this is the reason why you quit right here, because you'll almost always feel overwhelmed when it's something new, except for, of course, James, who masters like 1,800 skills and can do anything he puts his mind to. But what does James get? James gets overwhelmed and can't figure out how to put it together and use them all, right? It's the same thing, guys. So somebody put it in their story. I love that Serenity. Serenity, obviously, I haven't seen it, but put that in their story, feeling overwhelmed about it. There's a lot, and I've done this on purpose. If you guys notice, when we started this call, what was there, like 50, 60 people, right? I know there's at least 50, 60 people going through that aren't making the calls, that are DMing, talking about finding out more. I know that new people are joining every day. But James says he's drowning. Okay. The same reason why the calls are going down is the same reason you give up in your life. Okay. Now, a lot of people will tell you, pick one thing, focus on that right now. The reason why you don't succeed is because you pick on one thing that you can or you want or need. Okay. At first, that sounds really good. Does anybody here think that sounds good? I can master one thing, one little thing, one tiny little thing. Does that sound like a lot? Yeah. Okay. But here's the thing. When you focus on what you can't, now you can. So when I saved my marriage, when Catherine did her work in her part, both of us learned a whole lot of stuff really fast that we didn't know what to do, how to do it. We couldn't. Focus on what you can't. We did that broke, losing our home, our vehicles, added stress. We did that while she was pregnant and 2 twin tornadoes running around the house. We did that during COVID when we couldn't go out of the house. All of that is overwhelming. Would you agree? How many of you struggled during COVID? Pretty overwhelmed, right? Did anybody turn their broke-ass homeless self into a 7-figure earner during that time and save a relationship and get their health back on track? When you learn to navigate this feeling of anxiety, this feeling of stress, that's when you can. And does anybody here have a skill that they've developed? Maybe somebody talked about bowling the other day. Maybe you were an athlete at some point. Maybe you decided to learn how to do real estate and felt overwhelmed, but ultimately, because you were kind of good at it, what did you do? You kind of liked it, right? Or maybe there was a need or a want that you wanted to go after, and you really wanted it or really needed it, so you kind of liked doing what you had to do. But what do most of us do? We do what we need to or want to, what we have to do, and we don't really like doing it. How many of you guys started working out and getting healthy here and like, this sucks? How many of you guys removed something from your life and like, this is stupid? I told you I wanted to drink on the weekend with Catherine, have a little bit of wine with her. Sometimes we go through that, right? So, yeah, that's right. Somebody said the path of least resistance. I was talking about this on our health call today. Your body wants to be fat. That's how it works. Your body wants the easy way out. Your brain does that for everything. Everything. Matt, can I call you on for a second here? Matty does very, very well in business. So he can relate to all of this with business. And then Matty, with all of his business stuff on the go, is doing my program. Matt, what's going on in your life when you learn to do what you can't?
I'm on my bike. I'm on the bike. And life goes pretty darn good. I mean, with everything. The program was 100% out of my comfort zone. I mean, I was just a kid who started a company that took off when I was 24, 25 years old. And I was fucking good at it. And I'm still really good. I'm really good at it. But then I almost lost everything else and everything that was due to me. Everything that was due to me. Found cash and was like, fuck, this is not me. This is not what I normally do. I want the best relationship of my goddamn life. And I've been with my wife since we were 19 years old. So, stepping out of a comfort zone and doing what you're not comfortable with will always bring you the best results. Again, exactly. I've said it before. Path of least resistance, the road you want to travel is the most dangerous one. The hardest road, the most dangerous one is the one you want to travel.
Love it. Thanks, Matty. So I know that it's not going to feel fun sometimes, but first of all, you should all pat yourselves on the back. You're still here when probably 50% of the people stopped joining the calls. Maybe they're still doing it. I don't know. I'm not going to follow up on them. You're here to ask questions, right? Because you still want something more. So first of all, celebrate something like that. Celebrate that as a win, because people who do get, that's it. Now, along those lines, let's kind of go back to what Tim was talking about, and kind of lost. Doesn't even know where to begin, right? How many of you are feeling? We're 10 days in. I'm on day 2 is what Tim said. How many of you guys feel that way right now? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There's a bunch of you. Okay, good. So I'm going to break it down. I did this yesterday. Let's break it down for you again. Okay. Simply every single day, your first story post is your checklist. Think of it like that, a checklist. What is something you want to remove? What is something you want to add? And if you're in this week, which you are, you should have hopefully added or removed one more thing for that checklist. So now it's a 3-item list. Now here's where you start to get overwhelmed, because everybody feels like that's probably not too bad, right? I can make a checklist. I can post that. Anybody struggling with just the very first thing? Okay, so why don't we stop right there for a second, okay? One of you who's put your hands up, I know it was Mercedes. There was a gentleman, I think it was you, Joseph, and now Serenity's come up. So one of you unmute, please. What is the struggle with the very first post? Because if you're feeling it, a lot of other people are feeling it, okay? Where are you? Joseph, I see you. Go.
A lot of mine is my wife and I, we share a Facebook and Instagram and all that. The Instagram's new since we're doing the program. So I don't really know how to present myself on there or without hurting her, I guess, or without saying something that she might not want on social media or something like that. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Okay.
think about it like this. You are 50% of that account, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if you remove something from your life that's bad, what is it that you're removing that might hurt her?
Well, my list, I guess. So I don't really have anything on my list that would hurt.
That's the problem. It's not your wife. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You need a list. There we go. That's okay. Okay, how many people don't have the list? Okay, a few of you. Simple. Go to day 3. Go to day 3 and get some ideas. Things that you want to just go through it slowly. You guys, don't be in a rush. Take your time. If it means that your moral momentum, guys, this isn't, by the way, a 60-day thing. This is a lifetime thing. So don't worry if you're a little slow. You're not going to lose anything here, okay? Even if you're here for the prize money, okay? It's all for you and your growth, okay? Even if you want the free program, all for you and your growth, okay? So you can achieve anything. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're here just because you want to get into my program and you want the scholarship. All right, what happens if in 90 days you start making $2,000 a month and you can start to buy programs from me or from any other coach you ever want? Because it's $2,000 added to your income that you've never had, right? There's lots of thumbs up here. So think about it like this. It's just part of the journey. If you guys can all embrace this, that all of you, especially that are struggling, the person that started Moral Momentum is no longer here. I don't care if you haven't taken real good steps forward yet. Okay? Embrace the fact that you're making a new person, somebody that you're proud of. Remember what the number one reason for this program, I mean, there's a big list on day 1. You can see all the benefits of doing this. What's the number 1? Anyone remember?
Not right offhand.
Anybody?
Fill your cup.
Fill your own cup. Greg, do you remember why we're filling our own cup?
No.
Because almost everybody holds himself back in life. Those risks is what Maddie was really talking about, getting out of your comfort zone and taking risks. Those risks, when you feel like taking it personal when somebody disapproves of you, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your parents, whether it's your friends, people you don't even or shouldn't even care about commenting on your social media, that feeling when you don't fill your own cup is what makes you want to quit, right? And not only that, but when you are so proud and confident in who you are, you found yourself. Remember, a lot of you came here, rough relationships, in fact, most of you. So if you think about it, you only have your spouse, your job, your children, or maybe not even all 3 of those. So now your cup's not full. You literally are defined by what you thought was your purpose, but that's not your purpose. That's a part that enhances who you are as a person. My beautiful wife enhances me. My beautiful family enhances me, right? Okay. And so same with what I do for a living. It makes a good living, sure. But the gift is the DMs from people saying, thank you. I've never even talked to you and I've learned. That's the gift, right? So if you can start to fill your own cup, that energy will then overflow, okay? That's the reason, the real reason we're doing this. Along the way, you're going to find yourself. Along the way, those of you who are separated, those of you who have a partner that's coasting, will have to rise up and see you and meet you, because you can't coast with somebody who's just fucking awesome. You just can't. Same happened in my marriage with Catherine, okay? We rose up together after that. Are you putting your hand up, Seth? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you. But yeah, so I did a few posts, and I'll tell you, I've had strangers liking and commenting and messaging me about it. And, you know, it's felt really good to see that, you know, I've kind of inspired people I didn't even know, you know. So, I mean, I guess I'm doing all right with the posting and stuff. It's just my main struggle is my insecurities, you know, and anxiety more or less. And how do I work through it in the moment so that I don't call my wife or text her when she's looking for space. It's kind of throwing me backwards. That's the only thing I'm struggling with, really.
Okay, I'm not going to ask how many, because I'm sure there's a number of you who might feel like your partner asked for space, said respect my boundaries. They don't believe your changes. How long is this going to last? None of this is real. You're changing for me. Any of this ring a bell? Anybody want to answer that? Yes, just nod if that's, yeah, pretty, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty common. It's pretty much every guy I talk to on the phone, okay? So the anxiety, the insecurity that you're feeling, the getting in her space, I say get in her face without invading her space. It's the finesse. There's a gray area there, right? And this would go either way, male or female, okay? I want you to think about this, though. Maddie earlier talked about being in my program, being successful in business, and showing up. His wife definitely wanted space, okay? He's no exception, all right? Bill's on the call. We talked about him yesterday. His wife definitely wanted space. You get to the other side of the house. I don't care if you laid this floor. Get off it, okay? That's space. I don't care how she says it, he says it, whatever. When you're doing something like this and you're dealing with those emotions, you just said, I'm worried about insecurity. I'm worried about anxiety, okay? This is common. This is every one of you probably have felt this. Some sort of fear-based state, okay? When you fill your cup, you combat that. Also, if you're just fucking busy, how are you invading her space or his space? Anybody think of that? What can I be learning right now? I'm actually fucking busy right now. I can't be texting. You just said you're worried about texting her. If you're worried about stressing over things that you can't with this program right now, becoming valuable first to yourself, right? Remember, you're the cup being filled with water. Then the cup starts to overflow. So now you can be valuable to everybody around you. First of all, you're not doing anything to control, manipulate, or take advantage of your partner. These are all common things that your partner might think based off where you're at in your relationship. You're not. You're doing something for you. What did you just say? Felt really good to help two strangers. Anybody realize that has nothing to do with their partner? So that combats the anxiety and the fear. Now, if your partner gets upset with you, what does that mean? That means that they're probably worried about you and your growth. That's going to challenge them to have to grow. That's going to challenge them to have to get out of their comfort zone. Greg, are you still on? Yeah, Greg, in my program, you did very, very freaking well, right? Was it easy for your partner to get out of her comfort zone and start moving forward, to rise up with you?
No, it's taken a long time, but it's happening.
Sometimes it takes a while, guys, but was it worth it?
Hell yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Greg's been pretty proud of himself for a really long time, right? Pretty comfortable. And she threw out lots of those same sorts of lines at him, right? And he could have easily stopped and been in the exact same place that you were when you joined Morrow Momentum. Or he could keep rising and she could start learning her own skills to meet him. Some from him, some on her own. Same happened in my marriage, same happens with everybody. Okay? Cool? So let's break this down some more. Okay. If you don't have your list, go to day 3 and pick out something that resonates with you. There's 25 items to remove and 25, it might be 26 to add. They're all only good. I don't care which one. Just pick one. Doesn't matter to me. Mercedes, you said you're struggling. Have you looked at those items and been able to say, you know what, it makes sense to add or remove this? Okay. So if you guys can think about this, your list might feel overwhelming because you're trying to think about the big picture. The whole way we started this was for you to A, get out of your comfort zone, B, pick something that would just enhance your life, remove something that's going to stop taking from your life. Okay? Does everybody agree on that? So if you don't have a list for that first checklist, for the first story post of the day, all you do is go pick one add, one subtract, and then pick one more add or subtract because we're on the second week. Now that's your checklist. Okay. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, I think we're good. Okay, good. So that's your first post. It's a story post. Then all you're going to do is post 2 to 4 more times throughout the day, showing something about those things or showing something you're doing with your time because you saved time, for example. Let's say you removed an hour of sleep. Cool. What are you doing with that time? Are you reading a book? Throw it up there. I never used to read. I never thought I'd read. Guys, I said that for years. I'd never read. Some of my very first posts were like, well, now I read. I watch YouTube that I can learn from. I hire coaches, right? That's because I choose to use my time only to move forward. Unless it's with my wife, that'd still be moving forward, wouldn't it? It's building our relationship. Same with my family, okay? Go ahead, Stephen.
Okay, I got a question about using Instagram. Because when I go to post something, I've got this little tab that says story, and I've got something that says post.
Yeah, different. So
now, yeah, I've tried to use the story thing, and it doesn't seem to. I don't know how to use that.
So
this post thing works.
Well, it should just go story. I'm not sure why it's not, but if it doesn't, just click the little plus sign next to your profile picture, and that'll create a story automatically. Only a story can go in there. So you
then that's probably what I'm doing. Is just offering to post it. I guess it's posting as a story. I don't know how they're showing up on your end when you see them. Are they showing up as a story or?
Well, the stories all come. The stories all come as a DM to me, and the posts only come as like in my comment feed, you know. And so I look at as many as I can, and then mostly I'm not really there with you guys because we need to get you guys just posting. That's the most important thing. Some of you are like Leah's really advanced at posting already, right? But Matt Harris was another one, really, really advanced at posting right now. But a lot of people aren't, right? So don't really worry about that right now. The point is to get your story up and we'll talk about posts in a second, okay? Cool. Okay. Yeah, but just experiment with it, guys. You either, like, if I wanted to go live on Instagram right now, I had to click the live one, right? That's the only way to do it. If I want it to be a story, I'd have to click the story. Same with the post, same with the reel. Almost always, actually always, it's going to be reel first, unless you're going from the profile picture plus sign for story. Okay, cool. Okay, so you have your list. That's your checklist for the day, right? And then from there, post something that you did. It could be like Kate likes to post that she's not drinking her coffee and what she's doing with her time. There was something that she was learning. She posted about that. Perfect, right? Now, it was your first post, Kate, but you could post that as a later picture as well, right? So you have a checklist with a selfie or a picture of whatever you're doing, a little video of what you're doing, right? My cold plunge video didn't work today. His phone stopped recording, but otherwise I would have thrown that up on my story today, just like that. Moral momentum, cold plunge, right? And that's because cold plunge is part of my list. Pretty straightforward, guys. Does that make more sense now? Okay. Now, the other part of it that gets confusing, whether you're talking about your story and your list or you're talking about posts, is when you start thinking about your bigger goals. So I'm guessing that a number of you haven't really figured out your bigger goals. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you don't really know your bigger goals yet, you don't have to align with bigger goals yet, right? But I dare you to think about this. Look around your house and go, is this what I want? Look around or reflect after a conversation with your wife or your kids or your husband or your kids and go, is that how I want it to be? Go in your vehicle. Drive down the road. Is there anywhere you wish you could afford to go? You know, it's really you start to really recognize, you know, can I do that activity? I think I'd be out of breath. You start to recognize your goals pretty quick when you just take a minute and look around you. Okay? If you're struggling with your goals, start there. And lastly, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just keep going to add and remove. So you want to learn something. Okay, I want to use my time to learn something. I have no idea what I want to learn. Go play on YouTube, man. Enter your age. I call it the rabbit hole in my program. Enter in your age. Enter in what 35, 45-year-olds do. Go down a rabbit hole. Have some fun. The moment you start to pick something, YouTube will send you more of it, right? probably Instagram and Facebook too. You buy your first book and you'll get suggestions. You guys all been on Netflix. I know you've all been on Netflix. That's why half of you are here. Okay. Netflix picks for you. They've been using AI for as long as people think AI is new. Right? Suggested videos. So stress less if you don't know. Start with add and remove. Guys, if you don't have goals for, I don't know, let's say the whole time, I dare say that's probably not possible. If you just add and remove things with your life and you're like, what do I want to do? Well, I'm not doing that because that's a waste of time right now. You'll figure out what you want to do pretty quick. Does that make sense to you guys? So if we're stuck, we have zero idea, take some time to start reflecting as you're moving around through your life. Don't do this scrolling on social media, by the way. Oh, I wish I had that guy's watch. Don't do that shit. You know, you'll start to see a bunch of fake stuff. Okay. But then also, if you really, really don't know, stick to day 3, add and remove things, and reflect when you have the time and go, what do I wish I could do? Pay attention to each other. How many of you guys have been following each other right now? You guys playing that game? Supporting each other? Sharing each other's stuff? In that, you'll be inspired. Dennis, Bill, one of you guys want to come on here for a second? You guys do a lot of work with me and the work that we're doing globally. Why?
Because I believe in your purpose.
Thank
I
you.
want to disrupt force.
Thank you. But where did it come from? You didn't come in here to join me on my venture and my purpose, my mission, right?
Because your program saved my life, and I want to save other people and give out to what I've been given. You know, like my life changed so much, and I know more men who are in the position I was in than are in the position I'm in now, and I want to see them get to here so they can be better fathers, better husbands, better men in general, and change the way we do things in this world.
I love it. Thank you. So hear the power.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
It was like I told you, I want to, if I can help one man not go through what I went through or put his family through what I put my family through, then it made all that pain I went through worth it.
Here we go.
That's why I do this.
There we go. So if you think about the whole idea of this, finding your story, finding your goals, guys, it's literally finding your pain. It's literally understanding. You don't have to be Dennis and Bill joining me on my global venture to disrupt divorce. Think about this. If you're supporting each other, the idea that Michael might have trying to build his entrepreneurial journey with his hamburger shop and franchising might inspire you. I don't know if Kat's on here, but her jewelry business, you know, for example, right? It might get you going, oh, damn, that I should read that book because Serenity's finding it for real estate. And I've always kind of wondered if I would like that. Do you think if you're inspiring other people, you all could inspire each other since you're all on the same mission right now? I'd encourage you to all follow each one of your accounts. Drop them in Moral Momentum in the chat. Follow each other's accounts. That's a productive use of time because you're looking at people achieving. Everybody know the difference between scrolling through social media and seeing hyper-focused content on what you're trying to do right now? That's what that is, okay? Now, the moment you understand that and you're inspired, put that in your story or write a post about how it makes you feel. Man, when I saw Serenity had her first big win, Leah got like this client's mind completely changed from being a victim and wanting to change her trajectory in her life. It started with her kids, and now I want to do that. I hate how I feel right now. Now you can talk about why you hate how you feel. And that's what we talked about with the 2 days ago with the script idea, with the hook idea, is that feeling, right? It sucks making hamburgers that no one wants to buy. You ever feel like this in business? Michael, there's a hook. I lost all my money trying to build one piece of jewelry a day. I need to learn how to invest in a way that I can make 50 pieces of jewelry a day and sell them. I hate feeling like a loser with business. Those are some business examples. Every time my husband is on the phone scrolling and scrolling, and I just want him to look at me, I feel terrible. I don't feel good enough. Now, don't do that one unless you've talked to your spouse about it, you know? But that's how real it needs to feel. Steve, can I use you as an example? Where are you, Steve? Yeah, there you are. Can I use you as an example? Okay. I want to get help so bad for my marriage, and my wife loves me and hates me. That's real. You can talk about it. You know? I'm going to use one more example. I don't care what anybody says. I did rape my wife. I'm not proud of it. I don't care what my parents think. Some of us did some bad things to our wives. It's fucking important to get the message out. Remember we talked about Brian yesterday? Brian's a little bit worried about what his family might think with the porn. Right? But porn is a problem. I feel disgusted with myself using porn. These are all hooks based off pain, and you might not know your goal yet, but your struggle is someone else's struggle. And chances are, in your recovery of porn, Brian, for example, I think you're like 33 days in or whatever now. Good for you.
I put it out there. It's out there in a post of what the what it is, what it was.
Fuck, man, it makes me want to tear up. That's beautiful. Because you're not the only one. Dude, I dare say some women will even respond at some point saying thank you. You know?
I've already had a handful of people reach out and thank me for the courage to put it out there.
100%. I love it. I love it. And how do you feel?
Awesome.
Now, I'm not... Go ahead.
But I think it's pretty hard on my mom, which I probably did it wrong by just putting it out there and not having a conversation with her first. But she seemed pretty quiet, pretty upset when I saw her today. But
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, guys. There are relationships in your life that I'm going to say maybe should have a conversation. I don't even care if it's your spouse. I'm trying to just make it easy on you. You're not in my program, a lot of you. You're not in Catherine's program. So I'm trying to make it easy on you. Personally, I started sharing my story before Catherine was ready. Why? Because it mattered. And the disrespect, well, I wouldn't call it disrespect. She was very hurt. Okay? She was very, very hurt. But could I have better conversations? Yes. But the thing is, it's my story. It is her story. She's a part of my story, though. And the fear that she has in a parent situation, like what you're talking about, Brian, it's kind of like what your parents talk about, Steve. You know, the reason why I had that hook for Steve is because his parents wouldn't believe or didn't want to believe that they could have allowed their son to grow up into the kind of man that could do this. Who's got the shame problem? Steve might, but he's getting over it by helping, by changing the trajectory of other people's lives. His parents aren't going to change if they're just going to sit in their pain and go, woe is me. I'm embarrassed that my son, blah, blah, blah. That can't be real. Cool. Great. Now no one's going to fucking change. So I'd encourage you to feel strong enough to share your story. Obviously, if you're not in my program or Catherine's program, I'm not going to be responsible for just telling you to jump in and go behind your partner's back without having a conversation. But certainly, you don't owe your parents anything if you have a struggle with porn and you haven't been able to ask them about it. If you haven't been able to say, hey, I struggle with porn because you've been embarrassed, that's not on you. They've built a relationship with their child that you don't feel safe with them. That's exactly why I have a fucking job. Why my business has helped 3,300 men in 24 fucking months. Because parents like Steve's, Brian's, mine, don't want to deal with their demons. That ain't on me, man. Now, you don't have to be me, though. You can. Hey, Mom, I want to let you know I'm going to be posting something about, this issue that I struggle with. Are you cool? Do you want to hear about it? Some of your parents are going to be too fucking old to care. Like, let's get real. But however that goes for you, don't let it change your trajectory of what you're doing. Just love them through it, Brian. You're developing those skills the same way I teach you with your wife. You do that with your mom. Love her through it. Okay? Just don't ever let it pull you down. Think about those people that you helped in one post. You do that consistently. I'm not saying that you're going to be in the anti-porn business, but maybe you will. Right now, you might send them to me. You might send them to Heather's Fight the Beast program. But I don't know. Whatever feels right for you. Maybe you just share your story and they figure it out. I don't know yet. We can develop that as we go. Right now, you just got to make sure you break out of that comfort zone. Brian, every time, man. Every time you're afraid, you just do it, man. You take a leap of faith. Good. That's focusing on what you can't. And so was that a post, Brian? Or is that a story?
Did it both. Post and story.
Okay. So when I talk about making a post, guys, about your pain, see, you don't have to think about the big goal. The goal for Brian is not to change the world with porn right now. It's to share the fact that he's not using it and why. That's a remove. Go back to your checklist. It's a remove. Super, super simple. Don't overthink it. Now, I did give you a script idea or a way to write them, but there's no rush. I would rather have this conversation with you and make sure you guys feel so good breaking out of your comfort zone, which is almost every call for you, Brian. Good job. Trying the next thing. That's the most important thing, because if you don't, none of your goals will ever matter, guys. None of them. Honestly, it doesn't matter how much money you want to make, what you want to do with your relationship. It doesn't matter what your ideas are. By the way, you all have goals with your kids. I don't know if you realize this. Those of you who are lost. That's a pretty safe one right there. Even if your partner doesn't like hearing about it. Doesn't matter about your health. You're not going to break away from anything if you can't break away from this step right here. So, checklist every day is your story. 2 to 4 posts. Pictures, little video. You could, guys, if you're super scared, this is my second cup of coffee today because I'm not having 3 or more anymore. That's it. Done. And when you write a post, talk about why. Do you know why you don't want coffee? Who here has no idea how to post, but has something they've added or subtracted from their life? Or a goal, but has no idea what to post? Anybody? I know there's 10 I gave you guys in Momentum, the first 10 people that gave their add or subtract. I just haven't done it on purpose because I'm trying to walk you through it. But I will. But let's do it right now. Who here has one? I think Joseph, put your hand up. Built your list fast on this call or what?
What's that?
Built your list fast on this call? It's okay. Go ahead. Teasing you.
I don't know. I figured with the comfort thing, I've always been real hard to change. I'm very consistent on what I do each day. So I'm so far out of my comfort zone, even talking to you now. I was scared to even get on the calls on the first day that I came in.
Let me ask you this.
I don't know. And then posting it just takes.
Let me ask you this. Joseph, you've been on, let's say, I'm going to say you've been on all 10 calls. I don't know, maybe on 5. I don't think that matters. But now, 2 days in a row, you're speaking up. You agree?
Yes.
So at the beginning,
I want to.
Don't worry about what you want yet. Just think about how you feel for a second, okay? In the beginning, you were scared out of your mind. It's out of your comfort zone. I don't even want to be on Zoom, never mind speak up, right? Maybe you didn't even want to do the program. Maybe you're just like, I have to. I'm just going to try it. What the fuck do I have to lose? It's free. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But now, 2 days in a row, you're speaking up. This is the second time on this call, by the way.
Yeah.
How do you feel breaking out of your comfort zone? Does it hurt you? Did it change? Maybe it makes you feel stronger? Maybe it makes you feel still so much anxiety. I don't know. What do you feel?
A little nervous, really.
Nervous?
Nervous, but I'm okay, you know?
You're okay. Okay, let's go with the nervous for a second. So in the beginning, when I used to say, what I do every call, who has, or somebody speak up, you were pretty nervous then too, right?
Yeah.
Was it the same amount of nerves?
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah. Did it
It's getting
change?
easier the more I talk, you know?
Pardon me?
So it gets easier the more I talk and the more I'm here.
Stage one.
It's gotten easy.
Stage one, when you get out of your comfort zone, it just gets easier. You might not like it. You might feel the exact same way. In fact, it might make you hate it more. The gym is a really good example. Okay. Public speaking. This is public, we'll call it for you. Okay. Fair enough. But the first step, stage one, it gets easier. The second step is you won't even notice this, but your anxiety will be less. Your nerves will be lighter. You will feel more confident. You will have more carefree of an attitude. Whatever it is we're talking about. I'm going to go back to the gym again, another super easy example. Who here has been intimidated going into the gym? I don't know what to do with the equipment. Holy fuck, those people are all fit. I am not. Cool. Go for a week. You'll realize you've figured out how to use some equipment. Go for 2 weeks, somewhere in that first to second week. It doesn't affect you the same way. In fact, you recognize that Cindy over there and Bob over there actually, well, they haven't actually told you you're fat and ugly at all. You may have even figured out that you can ask them a question. They just want to help you. Fuck. Bob showed me how to use this fucking thing. I don't even know what you call it. And then you realize that you're doing what you can't now. So now you can. And you don't feel the same way. Some of you, it's going to be harder than others. You know, that's why I like to pull on Serenity. You're like afraid to leave her house, man. Guys, if you think you have comfort zone problems, unless you're afraid to leave your house, man, you lose.
Every day for decades.
Every day for decades. Guys, anybody feel like they have a story that parallels that, by the way? I know I always say movie quality story, but like, and I know you don't all know it, so I'm sorry your mind's probably going nuts, but anybody feel like they have a story that parallels afraid to step outside through the door sill of your house for decades? Anybody feel like their comfort zone is matching that any way, shape, or form? Brian mentioning about porn, anything like that? Steven, anything scary about attacking your wife? Feel that scary is to never leave your fucking house? No, I guarantee you. Unless you were buried alive is the only other thing I can think of worse. Fuck. Congratulations, Serenity. You are doing everything you can't. Every day. Guys, I just want to encourage you. It is scary, but that's what makes it so much more fun. The moment you start achieving these things, it's incredible. I'm going to go back to Mercedes for a second. I think you were struggling so hard. You're like so lost. I just want this so bad, and I'm so fucking lost. What do I do? Don't worry about it. You're here on the calls. This is way out of your comfort zone. Just in analyzing your life and wondering what new hopes could look like is out of your comfort zone. Pat yourself on the back. You're doing what you can't. Now, just don't get comfortable there, everybody. Now we have to do the next thing that we can't. That makes sense? So your post, guys, keep it easy on yourself. Don't worry if you word it correctly, you know? If I'm coming at you or you're like, oh, I'm supposed to make it really painful and really hook them, you're getting in your own head. Don't worry about that. Just focus on what you're feeling. Imagine you're talking to yourself. That's the easiest way. Did anybody know this? Every bit of my content is a mistake that I made. I might have put one, maybe, I'm going to say less than 10 videos out. Instagram now shows 1,616 videos, I think. And that's my third Instagram account. So you can imagine how much content I put out. Okay? I dare say that maybe 10 videos or less were things that was from another man that he experienced that I shared. Everything's my story. I'm speaking to me. I just say you. If you're struggling with saying you, just say I. I did this. I feel better doing that. Todd, can I call you up? You with me? Todd, you are making some big changes based off of the momentum. It's what I believe is the missing piece from the reset all along for guys like you struggling. How do you feel following your checklist every day?
Well, I feel good about myself. Definitely being able to, start small, kind of builds my confidence a little bit more. So it definitely resonates when you say, hey, don't think, it's okay if you don't have the big picture in mind, but when you make those small steps, eventually you start making bigger steps. So that's, I think in the past, I've been trying to do too much too soon. So that's what has been affecting my consistency in the past.
I think so. I think you hit the nail on the head without realizing it. The reason why I wanted to call you up here was because when you are building your confidence up, that is the big picture. That is what affects everything else in your life. Okay? So when you feel a lack of confidence making a post, you're just putting pressure on yourself that does nothing. All of you that have stress, Greg is stressed, for example, about how his posts go and what's going on. But Greg gets people saying thanks. Greg gets people talking about their health journey. Greg sends a text message and shows me. Todd, struggling with overall consistency. Learning too much is how he put it, okay? But in a short time, 1 week, a bunch of people sent you messages, right? You sent me text and WhatsApp. I think you were so proud, right? Todd struggles with confidence. Good. This is good because Todd can easily see the difference in how he feels, right? And Todd, he's trying hard, but Todd, your posts suck. Mine did too. All of our posts suck in the beginning. Leah's pretty good on camera. I still send her feedback. And you know what? I'm okay on camera. My mentor sends me feedback. They all suck. You know why they all suck? Because none of us have millions of followers. That's it. Who fucking cares? Get comfortable on the journey. You don't have to have perfection. Right? So with your post, does anybody feel like they could just go write a post now? Just a little more relaxed? You don't have to tell your whole life story. You just have to tell how you feel. You got couple thumbs. Good. Let me see. What questions do you guys have right now? And I can go through the chat here too. Everyone looks at me at the gym. I don't care. Me neither. Fuck. I just went, guys. I go to my mentor's gym and I saw equipment I've never seen before in my life. I also felt like an idiot not knowing how to use some of it. I was like, what is this shit? Just got down and tried it. I actually saw Cole there and I was like, Cole, what is this fucking thing? I was asking somebody else for help. And I owned a gym for years, right? So like, who cares? It's all about learning and growing, okay? Yes, there's calls. Absolutely. So anybody that's on Facebook, if you literally just read the description, it'll tell you about the app. And I don't know what to tell you. If you want more out of your life, fucking read. So it's like when people make judgments about reels. You guys will get this down the road, right? People make judgment about your content, and you're like, did you read the description? Oh, wait, you're making a judgment about how I call men out? Did you see my wife saying she helps women? She calls them out? Like, what the fuck? Do your homework before you bitch. That's the problem. So the more real you can be, the more pain you pull. The reason they're bitching is because it's hurting them. Good. Can't make change if we can't make them feel. Anybody here ever go buy a vehicle that they didn't want or, fuck, even a shirt? Anybody buy it? Because let's go with a shirt. A shirt because they thought they looked good in it. Ooh, damn, it's flowing on my body. Fuck, I feel good in this thing. Yeah. Anybody ever feel like that? Only one? I think somebody's fucking lying. Okay. I don't know if I think Leah's like, ooh, pick me. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, it did happen. Oh, there's lots. Okay. Why did you buy that shirt? Did you think you'd be sexy? Did you think maybe you'd look good? Ooh, it accentuates this part of my body. All of that is a feeling. It's just that it's joy. How many of you bought a shirt that looks like shit? Fuck, this thing looks disgusting on me. Ah! My wife's not going to want this. I'm fucking buying this right now. Absolutely. Nobody fucking does that. Right? If you want to inspire people, use feeling, use emotion. Right? In this case, the shirt's not going to work the same way. Use the pain. Pain will catch them, not the love. Okay? Cool? All right. What other questions you guys have? Oh, publish over perfection. James is right. Anybody here? I know there's a few that want to write a book. How many of you have actually really moved forward on writing your book? And this could be any goal if you do have one. Okay. Most of the time, that's what authors will tell you is that my book took me however many years. I'm just going to say 10, but sometimes it could be less, obviously. Okay. Well, because you think it has to be perfect before you publish it. It doesn't. You can republish, right? Your posts are the same thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, guys, I write my posts 3 to 4 times a week, typically, sometimes 2. Okay, those written ones, those long ones that we talk about, right? And sometimes it's a hit on email for men and it's a hit on social media. And sometimes it's a hit on email and not on social media. And sometimes it's a hit on social media, but not on the email. How do I know? Because followers and emails create appointments, right? My email today, I didn't even like it. I booked like 10 appointments 2 hours after I wrote the thing, right? And it's not, I don't think last time I checked, I don't think it's moving on social media, 50 likes, where the other one did like 750 likes and whatever, 800,000 views on a post, right? So it's really just about doing it. If you try to spend too much time trying to figure this out, you're probably never going to get started. Maddie probably has something great to say about this.
Yeah, it's what I was just going to chime in and say. Like, so I'm not huge on the social media thing, guys. I'm just listening to this while I'm in my office, to be honest, because I just think you can learn anything. You can learn anything. Anything helps. But in Australia, we have a saying, I don't know if you've got over there, tall poppy syndrome. So, and it's real bad here. The more successful I've become, the more I've acquired, the more I've got, the more I've built up, the more people have come for me, the more people have tried to tear me down, the more people have tried to say something about me or try to take what I've got. So it's the same with social media. If you guys are trying to build a platform and a base, it's the same as business. If you don't just start, it's not going to happen. And everybody, and this is the shitty thing about social media today, is it does give everybody a platform. It's a positive and a negative. People are going to bag you. People are going to put you down, and people are going to be assholes. And you know why they do that? Because you're doing something that they can't do.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. Cass said earlier before, like he started with like 50, 60, 70, 100, whatever it was, amount of people signing up for this thing. And we see it in the reset all the time. Like I signed up a year ago. I reckon, what do you reckon, Cass? There's maybe like 10 of us from a year ago, like the core guys who have just stuck right at it all in.
Yeah, that's right.
I reckon I could rattle off at least 4 or 5 times that amount of guys who come to one meeting and left, or, you know, oh, this is too hard, or this is that. Like, it's the same all the way through life, guys, whether it's business or social media. People are going to say you're shit. People are going to say it is shit. People are going to give you a hard time. People are going to rip on you. Fuck them. Once you step over that hurdle, it's the same with business. Like, if I never took the punt the day I did when I came home, I had no money in the bank, and my wife was crying with the newborn. We were 23 years old in her arms. We couldn't pay the rent. She said, I'm not going to live like this. I literally went to see my boss that day, told him I was thinking about doing my own thing. He fired me on the spot for bringing it up. I had to start my company the next day. I had $200 in the bank and my rent was $250. Like, I was fucked. I had no choice but to succeed, and I was petrified. But I took the step and I did it. And I live a fucking great fucking life. You know, like, it's the same with all this. If you don't take this step, don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. Keep this in the back of your mind. And this is not arrogance. Everybody who's having a go at you, it's because they're a fucking pussy. It's because they're scared to do what you're doing. It's because they're scared. They're projecting their fears onto you. Right? You're all strong people. You're all still fucking here. You beat the other 25, 30 people that fucking bailed out already. Keep it in the back of your mind.
Thank you, Maddie. I love that. I want to spin this a little bit further because this is really, really valuable. So I have an ad that's going out, and it's just telling the exact truth of what Catherine said to me and about these mistakes that I had to learn. And it's an ad. And Catherine's in the video, and you can tell she's with me. She's my wife. And in my space, it would normally cost $35 for someone to click that ad and then go to my website. Okay? I spend $1 to $2 per person because it's real. It's the true feelings. It shows Catherine and how she feels about me now. And at the end of the day, I still get all kinds of hate on that thing. Why? Those are men complaining because I figured out what they don't want to or can't figure out. I even get guys that go to my website going, "Oh, you charge money. You must be a snake oil salesman." You fuck, I spent $400,000 to learn what I know between me and Catherine. You better fucking believe I charge money. I spend a lot of time too. Of course, do you want a Ferrari or a Ford Focus? Be the fucking Ferrari. People will still bitch because you charge like a Ferrari. But if you can show them why it's worth them taking a ride, they'll follow you to the ends of the earth. Look at all of you, you're here. Right? Remember that, just like what Maddie said, people will always tear you down because you figured out what they can't. It's the same reason that Steve, we were talking about your parents, Brian, we were talking about yours, my parents. Why? Because they're embarrassed because we figured out what they can't. That's it. It's the same whether you're talking about people in your life or the new people that find you. Okay? Anybody have any more big? Yep, no one can argue experience. That's why you guys are documenting this. You know, a lot of you want to make more money. A lot of you are doing this program because when you're on a call and we talk about what payment options I have, it's still out of reach. So what do? You join Morrow Momentum, and by the end of this, you learn how to make money. Oh my gosh, I don't have my goals and my idea. That's cool, because if you document the journey, you are your own testimonial, at the end of this. Your experience. No one can deny the experience. Forget what I spent, because even if I spent all that money or Catherine spent the money, the stuff that we've learned, you still get the people going, "Oh, you're not counselors? Shit." Well, fuck, they didn't even ask about her fucking degrees and what she has. Just because I didn't get the degrees doesn't mean shit. You're never going to make everybody happy, is my point. Just focus.
You'll make the one happy.
You'll make the one. Catherine said, you'll make the one. She's still here over there, looking hot as fuck.
Thank you.
God, I love her. You guys should have seen the cold plunge with her today.
I posted it.
You did?
It's hilarious.
You got to watch it. She did at least half a second more than yesterday. You think 2? I didn't count.
Someone counted 5 seconds.
5?
From the time my feet went in till the time I got out.
That's like at least 2 seconds longer than yesterday. Whoa. And then she's like, did she get the video where did she say it? You didn't count. You didn't count.
The whole thing. You gotta watch it.
Oh man, I gotta watch.
I just watched it. It's great.
What do you mean you just watched it? We're on a fucking call, you prick. So I gotta watch it. I filmed mine, but the camera stopped. I think I had too much stuff recorded, so I missed it. But somewhere in there, I was in there a little bit longer than Catherine. And
Don't spoil it for everybody.
Oh.
Because you tell them what you said, then they'll know what I said.
Oh.
And then it won't be funny.
Yeah, go watch her reel and make it go viral for crying out loud. Support. Jeez.
I laugh every time I watch it. I watch it a lot.
Yeah, that was funny.
Sorry, Aaron. Sorry, Aaron. You're all in and out here. I'm gonna stop your video. Say it again.
I said watching Catherine was funny as hell. Everybody does need to go watch it. And yeah, 5 seconds from the timer feet hit.
Oh man, it's so good. I'm so proud of you, honey.
Thanks, baby.
So proud of you. Guys, this is, by the way, this is momentum. So of course you know that Catherine and I are strong and there's a lot that we influence each other on, we lead each other on. But like Catherine would never do this, ever in a million years. Like you just have to understand my wife. It's freezing cold water, okay? And she smiled when she asked me about it and then did it later. And she did it 2 days in a row. And she said, well, my husband did it. Momentum. Okay? Cool? All right, guys. Today, I don't want to go crazy for your homework because there's enough of you overwhelmed. If you feel comfortable, go start following that script idea from yesterday, 2 days ago, and start trying to enhance this, okay? If you don't have your list, your ideas, revisit day 3, remove, add, make that first checklist, and start thinking about what you feel when you post. Cool? Same sort of thing we did yesterday. Let's keep you engaged, keep you moving. You're all still here, so let's figure out what we can't. And then one more solid piece of homework. What specifically is holding you back or making you struggle or making you feel like you can't or giving you anxiety, giving you fear? Give that to me. Bring that to me tomorrow. Okay? Could be probably around this posting is what I'm talking about. But hey, if you got something else in your life, let's go through it. Let's break it down. Chances are, oh, Todd, I wrote down a script. I don't know if he's still here. I wrote down a script because I believe you posted. I believe this was his reel. It was good. It was, what was it? It was like, it's not the problems in your relationship. It's the personal problems in your life that are affecting your relationship, I think is what you said. Right? The only thing wrong with that is what's that?
Says you don't have relationship problems, you have personal problems that affect your relationships.
Yeah, that's a beautiful hook. I stole it. It's on my list. I made a script from it. I'm going to use it. Okay? Like, see, we can inspire each other. Now, the only reason that wasn't good was because there's nothing after it. It's only thought-provoking. But what's the thought? What's the lesson? What are we doing? So, Todd, I want you to take that same thing, and everybody can do this. So you got your little hook idea, the pain, right? So you think that's what we're doing. We're letting them know. So wait a minute. I have personal problems that are fucking up my, and you can hurt them. Hurt them. That's the point, right? Then take that and figure out what you want to do with it. Do you want to give them more of an opinion on personal problems? Or do you want to give them some tips on taking their personal problems and giving them a solution? I don't remember what I wrote for my script. It just whatever rambled off. My mentor taught me this. I just put the voice note on, not the voice note, the microphone on my notepad, and I talk. One line, new paragraph. One line, new paragraph. So it's easy to read. You got it, and you understand it. You can film it. Or take that and write it down for your post. So Todd, for you specifically, take that, go through 2 days ago, day 8, and look at the process, and then deliver something of value. Guys, value. What does this whole thing start with? Pardon me? Oh my gosh, we got to do a podcast. Hold on. So make sure you're giving value. That's the point. Relationships are value. Remember day 1? Value, value, value. Okay? All right, guys, we got to film a podcast. Love you. See you tomorrow. Bye. See you guys. Bye. This one's probably done. And see you guys. Bye.